It is Antonio, and it is 4-2 to West Ham. They lead business yet again.
Antonio got in here. It's a landmark goal for Mikel Antonio.
Antonio, great feet, great goal! The dancing feet of West Ham hero Mikel Antonio.
Johnson maybe on and got in a terrific drive. What a flight strike that is from the young fullback. Declan Rice has a look, has a hit, and scores a beauty. It is a fabulous hit. Uncomfortable for Alisson, who's back pedaling. Now you've got to believe it. Khartoum have got huge, and this is Hammers huge.
Yeah, David Moyes dancing on the touchline, Mikel Antonio dancing with a cardboard cutout of himself in the bubbles at the London Stadium. That pretty much sums up West Ham's season so far. They are absolutely flying. And of course, they had that deserved victory over Liverpool at the weekend, which sees them sit third in the Premier League table. The good news keeps on coming as well. There's been some breaking news in the last couple of hours. A statement released by West Ham to say that they are pleased to announce that Czech investment group 1890s Holdings AS has completed the acquisition of 27% of shares of WH Holding Limited. As part of the agreement, it's intended that the 1890s Holdings AS chairman Daniel Kretinsky and his colleague Pavel Horsky will become members of the board of directors of WH Holding Limited. So, exciting investment, it would seem, in West Ham. And Leanne, welcome back to Fan Zone, everyone. Quite a start. Leanne, it's been so good for West Ham, hasn't it? I mean, they've been the surprise package of this Premier League season, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely, and I think they're following off of last year. You know, I backed them all the way to make the top four until the last kind of 2 weeks of the season. They kind of fell off, didn't they? But they look like a team. I mean, I played on teams where it's just infectious, the environment, and you can see the players like Antonio, like a couple of seasons ago after the games, you remember him do his interviews and could barely get his words out because he was carrying the whole team.
Yeah.
And then David Moyes has come back in his second, tenure at the club, and he's been unbelievable, hasn't he? And you've got to give him a lot of credit for how well this team's playing, because you look at Souček bringing in Dawson, players that people probably wouldn't have even thought, and losing like Felipe Anderson, Payet over the years. Like, they've had top players that they've let go, but they just look like a team that just knows exactly what they're doing. And Declan Rice, I mean, he's unbelievable.
I was about to say.
Yeah, it's so fantastic to see a player so happy, in form, and you can see it. You look at his social media, he's so happy at the moment, and I've been there myself when I played. You just want every single training session to come. You can't wait to be back around your teammates again, and West Ham looks like a team that looks like they're just going to go from strength to strength.
Yeah, it's interesting. We want to know what the realistic target is for West Ham this season. Leanne, just very quickly, just to tee it up, where do you think they can finish?
I think they can finish in the top four. I definitely do. It's still a long way to go yet, and I backed them. I did back them last year, and I was wrong in the end. But I think they even look better this year than they did last year. But I think it all comes down to management and managing the team, because obviously they're in the Europa League, which is they're going strong in that. Not lost a game in that as well. So, it just comes down to, at the end of the season, they might run out of steam, but I hope they don't.
Okay, West Ham fans, let us know what you think. #PL fans. All the contact details are at the bottom of the screen. Where can you finish this year? And also, what do you think about this new investment in your team as well? Let's speak to a happy Hammer then. I presume he's happy, he should be. This is Mark in South Africa. Hello, Mark. So, first of all, we just had this news about the new investment in your club. Are you expecting them to start spending a little bit more money, maybe, starting in January?
Yeah, I really hope so. I mean, there's never been a better time to be a West Ham fan. I'm lucky enough to have seen Geoff Hurst and Bobby Moore, but I've never been so excited as I am now. I can't wait for the next game to come along. I'm sure that the board will back David Moyes. He's done a fantastic job. The whole club is moving in the right direction. The women's team, the youth team, everything about West Ham is really bubbling at the moment. And I think the manager will get the backing he needs.
Why do you think that it's been such a turnaround? Because before lockdown, West Ham fans are throwing their season tickets, at the London Stadium. There's a lot of protests. Like, what do you think it comes down to? This massive, I think people forget that, not to bring the doom and gloom, but it was only 2 years ago that fans were doing that, and now the team just look unbelievable. What do you put that down to?
Well, it's a really strange thing, isn't it? Because the spirit within the team now is the greatest I've ever seen at West Ham. And that spirit was built during the lockdown period, strangely enough. And now the fans are back. The fans are really buying into it as well. And you can see that the fans are like a 12th man every game now. And I don't think you should underestimate what Mark Noble does at the club as well. He's not in the team at the moment, but he's the club captain. And you can see during matches, after matches, he's got his arm around the players, the new players, the young players. You know, he's a fantastic support to David Moyes at the moment.
Yeah, I thought that was a great touch. They gave him an extra year contract, you know, based upon loyalty. But it just goes to show you when you have a team, a player like that around the club, it makes a difference.
Yeah, it certainly does, and it's something that managers rely upon as well, sort of setting the standards and maintaining standards, even not necessarily in the starting 11 at the weekend in the Premier League, but across the week in training too. People are already beginning to get in touch about where they think West Ham can finish this year. Sean says, I think it's too early to say if West Ham can finish in the top 3 at the end of the season. And already with 10 games played, as a Manchester United fan, I'd love to see West Ham playing in the Champions League next season. Trust me. It's interesting that, actually. I mean, Mark, what do you think? Where can West Ham finish? Leanne tipped your team for the top 4 last year. You nearly got there. Can you do it this time around?
I think we can. I mean, we've got games coming up, haven't we, against City and Chelsea. We'll have a much better idea then of just how much we've come along as a team. At the start of the season, I would have been so happy to have a top 4 finish. But quite honestly, the way we're playing now, the way David Moyes is using the team in all the competitions, if we can keep everybody fit and we can bring in some new players in the January transfer market, if we've got some money there, there's no reason why we should not just be in the top 4, we should be challenging for top spot.
Top spot indeed. Wow, Mark, fantastic. The best time to be a West Ham fan in your lifetime and challenging for the top of the Premier League. Brilliant. A very positive call of fans. Fantastic. Thank you for joining us. Right, okay. Academy